Hello, everyone. This is Steven Schinder of Yesshift, back with another Yesshift News Desk Edition. It's just me on this one. Dad is off. He has something he needs to do. But yeah, been meaning to get back to this for a while now. We had our previous episode a few weeks ago, mid January, and then there was a bunch of stuff happening after that. We had a Chris Welsh Q&A in our Drum Talk TV Brilliance membership site. It's available to premium members there over at drumtalktvbrilliance.com. And then things got really busy, and then I even came down with a cold for several days and was getting over that for a bit, but I feel pretty better now, so able to do this. I got all this stuff organized, so if I miss any news items on here, like, just, I don't know, you can let me know, but keep in mind that, like, just all this stuff going on. It's been a lot, but yeah, I've got a lot of stuff together on this agenda here. So I think this is a pretty stacked thing we have here, and we'll see how long that takes. I'm just making sure that the broadcast is fine right now. It should be. I just need to refresh and see. Yeah, because we stream these live on Facebook and YouTube and then post on other places. Um, yeah, it's taking a bit. Okay, so it's here, and yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since the last time I tried that, but since it's been a while, I figure I might as well, uh, you know, test that out here as well. But yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. Since the last time we broadcast was news of a Close to the Edge Super Deluxe Edition. And there's also a new podcast that Rick Wakeman himself is doing. So have some thoughts on that. And a bunch of other stuff, little bits pertaining to some archival or I guess memorabilia stuff that people have shared or talked about. And I feel like there's a bunch of stuff going on at Trading Boundaries this year, which I think I touched on some of those things uh, last time we did a news desk edition. I think Dad and I might have touched on some of that, but just in case, going through a lot of things here, talking music news, prog news, stuff like that. So here we go. First off, just want to mention January 31st, I believe, sometime around then, was the anniversary of John Wetton's passing several years ago. And over on YouTube, QEDG put up a Remembering John Wetton video, had the music and the images. Michael Innes was involved with this, and it was a really touching, you know, memorialization of John Wetton, a great tribute. And I just can't say enough of how great his legacy is. King Crimson, Asia, Icon, lots of different things. And that voice, it's just so memorable. It's such a huge staple of prog. And um, yeah, I don't know. Like, we've talked a lot about John Wetton on this podcast, and his loss really hit hard. So it's always great to take a moment to remember him, right? If you have any John Wetton memories, feel free to comment them in the chat or the comments. And, yeah, such a legend. Um, yeah, sorry, I'm just looking down because I'm making sure that these things are in, like, I'm making sure that stuff works and whatnot. Okay, so this next item. Um, a happy birthday to Kevin Mulrine. I believe his birthday was yesterday. You know, um, of course, lots of you know Kevin Mulrine, co-host of Yes Music podcast, and he also wrote the Tormato story a while back and is currently working on the Tales from Topographic Ocean's listening guide, which should be out sometime in the near future. But he posted that he received a certificate, the Award for Excellence in Historical Recorded Sound Research. So that was for the Tormato story book, and yeah, very well earned, and congrats on that, Kevin. And again, it's a great book if some of you haven't read it, and regardless of where you rate Tormato, I think it's still a really cool, informative book. So, yeah, and also wanna wish a happy birthday to Richie Castellano a couple days ahead of time, I believe this is, and he and the Band Geeks have been doing a great job performing with John Anderson, playing Yes music, and also like the True songs from the True album. Those are great, and there are these tour dates that were announced not too long ago, coming through the U.S. again, and beginning April 1st. Yeah, I remember Dad and I talked about that last time we did a news thing. And yeah, the thing I've kept hearing was that there will be the Yes Hour and the True Hour, so I think that'll add a bit more of a difference in the set list. Very curious there. And they recently put out a video from the upcoming live release, Perpetual Change Live. John Anderson and the Band Geeks performing I've Seen All Good People. And you can find it on YouTube. It's very well shot and it captures the atmosphere of the show that it's from. And yeah, looking forward to that release. It comes out mid-March, I believe March 14th, if I remember correctly. So go ahead and check out the different formats of that. Also, want to mention that Awaken, the Yes tribute band, have also posted their upcoming show dates, and their singer Ron Alonso posted a health update. So very glad to see that, powering through all of that. And yeah, like we're it, no matter what, it's health has got to be a priority, and so it's always good to hear when there's triumphs in that area. Total Mass Retain, I've also announced some dates. So, you can check out the tour dates for these bands on their socials and their sites. But yeah, they posted a video of themselves rehearsing Yours Is No Disgrace. And there's talk that there might be a Chris Squire inspired medley on, upcoming performances. And they also announced that Ray Matuza will be their guitarist for upcoming shows. And as a reminder, last time we were on here, Dad and I interviewed Johnny Bruns, who has played guitar for Total Mass Retain. And so, yeah, this is the announcement of what the next chapter is. So Ray Matuza is performing with TMR at their upcoming shows while Johnny takes care of his health matters. And he has worked with Steve Howe, Annie Haslam, Ian McDonald, and Ringo Starr. So that's a pretty impressive resume there. And he says, I'm so excited to perform my favorite music in such a high caliber band as TMR. I remember vividly the days in the early 70s where I put the needle back hundreds of times to learn each intricacy of Steve Howe's parts. I can't wait to play them live. Apparently he was also senior editor of 20th Century Guitar magazine. Yeah, and there's a picture on Total Mass Retain's socials. They posted a picture that shows him with Steve Howe and Dylan Howe, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, check out these tribute bands on their socials. Close to the Yes as well, and we have no shortage of bands playing Yes music. So we are truly blessed to have all these different musicians performing Yes music. Oh, I see in the comments, Stephen Brinson says, Happy birthday, Richie. Jean Maurice says, Few months waiting. I'm not really sure what that refers to. Rita Finley is tuning in from Kentucky. And yeah, I'm waiting for Yes to announce their tour dates. There've been rumors and such of there's gotta be something sometime this year, but until anything is announced, we'll cover it then. But yeah, looking forward to whenever news of that comes out. So next up we have a reminder that Prog Magazine issue 157 includes Bill Bruford talking about his return to public performance. So, again, he's been performing with the Pete Roth trio, and I believe they have a show coming up this Friday, the 6th of February, if I'm not mistaken, and they have some more throughout the month and maybe beyond. They've been playing in the UK, and yeah, it's great to see how comfortable Bill seems to be with this very jazzy music outfit. Another thing that happened recently at the NAMM show, Dave Kersner met up with Billy Sherwood and Jeff Downs, and Billy also met his drummer hero Peter Erskine, who Dad actually interviewed over on Drum Talk TV at least once. It would have been a few years ago, maybe 5-ish years ago, something like that. So very cool. Always great when these musicians meet each other. And Kersner also has been posting updates on his Genesis The Lamb Lies Down Broadway tribute album. He says it's super close to being done, and so I'm sure we'll see that in the very near future. It's closer now than ever before. Very much looking forward to listening to that. And then we also have a post from the Steve Hackett socials saying that the new live album, Steve Hackett Live Magic at Trading Boundaries, the signed copies are back in stock. And I actually ordered one of these, so I'm expecting that sometime soon, and maybe I'll be able to talk about it on this show as part of one of these Steven's Vinyl Adventures episodes. Very much looking forward to listening to that. And yeah, I've ordered a couple things for potential talk on this show in between things. So there'll be a bit more about Trading Boundaries in a bit, but first let's catch up on what Rick Wakeman's been up to. So there was an article from Louder titled Rick Wakeman's Wild Tales of John Lennon, David Bowie, Keith Moon, and Ozzy Osbourne. And this is, it actually goes beyond those. Lists a few names here of people he talks about, people he's met. It mentions David Bowie, John Lennon, Black Sabbath, and I saw that Black Sabbath might have a reunion of sorts. I think that'll be covered on the Drum Talk TV News Desk report. I meant to mention off the top that the next Drum Talk TV News Desk report, which, we do those typically on Wednesdays, but we've had to shuffle things around. A couple of co-hosts are focusing on other aspects of the Drum Talk TV company and some other things. But we're restructuring things. We might have the next one be on Friday. So, keep an eye out for whenever that comes out. But yeah, so continuing, Rick Wakeman also talks about Jack Lemmon, Jim Davidson, Keith Moon, and Vivian Stanshall, Sudi, and Basil Brush. Basil Brush. Okay. So this article is actually from April 2010. Okay, yeah. Sometimes they republish some of their archival interview things, but yeah, some of this was news to me. A bit where he talks about meeting John Lennon shortly before we lost him, and I think a bit of what was going on with him around with Rick around then. I think he might have been a little mixed up because he mentions he was promoting a Yes tour, but that would have been during the drama tour period. So, but yeah, very interesting stories here. So continuing on the Rick train, he put out a new podcast called Myths and Legends of Rick Wakeman. Oh, and I see Mark Lang actually commented saying, "Hi guys, going to see Rick Wakeman on Friday at Trading Boundaries and Bill Bruford at the same venue in March. You really need to treat yourselves." Yeah, it's yeah. Well, we're in the U.S. and Trading Boundaries is in the UK, but yeah, it would be really cool to go to those. Yeah, man, you guys, y'all in the well, I don't know if you're from the UK or if you're traveling over there, but man, people are so lucky in the UK at the moment. Oh, and Mark also says a Steve Hackett album is also excellent. It's oh, Wu says he said he was done touring. I think he said he was done solo touring, like he's doing his final like one man show tour, whereas the other shows he's doing are with the English rock ensemble. So yeah, I'd have to go back and see what his comments specifically say, but the impression I got is that he's retiring the one man show, but he'll still do the English rock ensemble stuff now and then. But yeah, this new podcast, apparently it'll be one new episode every 2 weeks. The first one came out January 31st, and it was the podcast is called The Myths and Legends of Rick Wakeman. And, he injects his brand of humor, trying to, acting like he's not allowed to push certain boundaries and whatnot. But he does talk about Heart of the Sunrise and a bit of And You and I. And it was, I always suspected that Heart of the Sunrise had maybe a King Crimson influence. And I don't remember if I ever read anything that confirmed that. But here in this episode, he mentions how Chris has been listening to 21st Century Schizoid Man before they went in and worked on Hard the Sunrise. And so that kind of confirms it for me. Something that I've long suspected was there. They kind of want to do 21st Century Schizoid Man, but done differently. Oh, Wu says he should yeah, with Carl Palmer, like collaborate with Carl Palmer and someone else, like Rick with Carl and someone else. Yeah, that could be interesting, huh? Yeah. Yeah, that would be an interesting combination there. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep up with listening to Rick's podcast and seeing what other nuggets he might drop. It felt very much like the format of that video from a while ago, or not too long ago, where he talked with Rick Beato about Roundabout, I think it was. Like, it had that same type of vibe there. But yeah, he also announced the October 25 October 2025 dates for the Return of the Caped Crusader Part 2. The tickets for that go on sale on Friday, and I think that's UK if I'm not mistaken. I have the graphic here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do the screen share thing. Yeah, I have so many tabs open and I'm trying to. Oh, Hackett, Palmer, Wakeman. Yeah, that would be an interesting combination if that were to ever happen. Okay, so let's see, share screen, and I think it's this tab here. Yeah, it's a good thing this previews them. Um, oh, here it is. Okay. I don't know how good this will look on the screen, but it might look a little blurry here. But yeah, this is in October 2025, starting on the 12th in Aylesbury, the Waterside Theatre, and ending on the 29th of October in Bristol at the Beacon. And Act 1 will be Six Wives of Henry VIII, while Act 2 will be the myths and legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. So that feels like a very exciting night. And again, you could go to rwcc.com and see the info on Rick's upcoming touring and whatnot. And yeah, as mentioned earlier, he's performing at Trading Boundaries tomorrow. It's the 5th as I'm streaming here, though I guess right now in the UK it's technically the 6th. But yeah, I heard he was playing the 6th, 7th, and 8th. I saw Roger Dean post about that. So that's sure to be fun. But speaking of Roger Dean, Trading Boundaries are having a horizontal line exhibition featuring Roger Dean's work from February 6th to the 9th. And I'll go ahead and share the graphic for that right now. So again, doing the screen share. Okay, it would be this tab here. Okay. Yeah, so original paintings, drawings, and sketches by Roger Dean, plus a mini Yes memorabilia exhibition by David Watkinson. Yeah, there's a friend of the show right there. So go to tradingboundariesfineart.com for more info. And yeah, like everything is pretty much happening at Trading Boundaries. It's really exciting stuff. And before I move on to the next bit, uh, Roger Dean, over on his socials, he posts like these really great, he reshares the art that he's done over the years. Like there's something he did for Vermilion, and there's a Union cover, and there were a few paintings, pictures of his large paintings, like the symphonic music of Yes one, where there's a dog next to it, and it's really fun. Kind of shows the scale of all of those things. And he also recently hand finished Close to the Edge reprint with a portrait of someone named Hattie and her dog. And I don't remember off the top of my head relation there, the relation there, like who Hattie might be. But yeah, he ended that little video clip by saying, "Don't get any ideas. I'm not doing personal portraits," which, okay, I guess he'll stick to landscapes. But I thought it was a nice little, new addition, like in the foreground of that Close to the Edge painting. And it was like the modern version of that Close to the Edge style. I think that might have been used for Progeny or maybe something else. And he also posted about t-shirts that are available via Everpress, and it includes like the green dragon with the red. And there are a bunch of t-shirt scams all around on Facebook, and some they're really annoying. So this one from Roger Dean's official page is legit. So yeah, if you want one of those, go ahead and order. John Perez from Close to the Yes says Roger Dean is an absolute legend and his shows are so amazing. Yeah, I really like the exhibit whenever his art is exhibited. It's happened at a couple Yes shows I've been to, and even the lecture that he did, I really enjoyed that. His art just continues to amaze. And at Trading Boundaries, I think someone mentioned that Bill Bruford would be playing there in March. Let me just double check that I have the date correct on that. Let's see. Okay, so here are the tour dates. Okay, I have to click on this thing to look. Let's see. Okay, so that's okay. So that's March 29th. A special intimate evening of jazz and conversation with the Pete Roth Trio. Okay. And again, there are like other UK dates throughout February, March, April, May, and there's one in October, and at different venues. But also March 7th is when Adam Wakeman's band Jazz Sabbath will be performing at Trading Boundaries. Let me see. Do I have the graphic for that? There is a graphic that showed the tour dates for that. I know they started touring this month, and then for I think into April. Um, okay, yeah. Here's the graphic, and wow, a few of their shows are sold out now. So I'll go ahead and share this with y'all right now. Um, let's see. All right, this one, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that first show at Peel is sold out, and then get limited tickets in places like Liverpool, Manchester, places like that. So yeah, some shows are sold out, some have limited tickets, and yeah, is that? Let me double check something. Okay, yeah, the Trading Boundaries website, tradingboundaries.com, does mention Jazz Sabbath on March 7th. So, yeah, okay. And, Jazz Sabbath, I got to see them play last summer, and it's fun seeing them do jazzy renditions of Black Sabbath songs. And, I've talked about their records on the show, so go ahead and catch them if you ever get the opportunity. And of course, in April, I think 10th, 11th, and 12th, if I'm not mistaken, is when Asia performs. So this will be Jeff Downs, Virgil Donati, John Mitchell, and Harry Whitley. I've been really wanting to see them perform. I hope it's not too long before. They toured the U.S. last summer, but not on the West Coast. So really would like to see them play, but yeah, and people can correct me on those dates if I got them incorrect, but or go to trainboundaries.com to see the dates. But yeah, from what I understand, these were selling pretty fast. So I guess go and check the availability of those. They'd be playing the first three Asia albums, Asia, Alpha, and Astra. So yeah, go check that out if you get the chance. And interestingly, I saw that Asia featuring John Payne, different band, of course. Yeah, there's a whole history. They're performing at the HRG festival in November. So this festival is November 13th through 16th. And what stood out to me is like this is kind of interesting here. Um, it's here it is. Okay, yeah. So this festival, it's also gonna have Life Signs, Foghat. And, my dad has interviewed Roger Earl of Foghat a couple of times. You can find those over at Drum Talk TV. But I also saw, Headspace, but also Focus and Curved Air are listed on here, which I thought was funny because they, along with Martin Turner, toured with, you know, Asia, original Asia last summer. And of course, I think they have management in common, if I'm not mistaken. So at this festival, it'd be kind of a different situation. Like, I assume some of these are on different days and not performing back to back to back. So it would really be like the festival reaching out to the acts that they want, and not one management wanting to get a few people onto the same thing. So I don't know, like it's a different situation, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. That little slight parallel there, I guess. I don't know. Oh, Mark Lang says, let's hope Jazz Sabbath get to play before the final Black Sabbath show in July. Adam being Ozzy's keyboard and all. Yeah, I'd have to look into that, see if that is a possibility. Maybe the info's already out there. I need to look deeper into that. But yeah, that would be pretty cool. Like, back to back bill at Jazz Sabbath, and then they're followed by Black Sabbath, and he'd have to be in character and be like, so we worked out our legal issues, and now I'm opening for the band that took my material, because that's the whole joke with Jazz Sabbath pretending that their jazz music was stolen and turned into metal and stuff like that. Okay, so another announcement that came out for Cruise to the Edge is that DiVirgilio, Morris, and Jennings will be performing there. So that should be a lot of fun. It's going to be pretty stacked, Cruise to the Edge. Always hear some neat stories about, what it's like there and how it's like nonstop prog, and it just sounds like a lot of fun. Also a reminder that an evening of Yes Music Plus, that ABWH Live album, got a recent re-release, with the video, and it includes a Big Dream or documentary. So that came out January 31st, and I think that's on Esoteric Recordings, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because I remember seeing ads for that. Is it? Or okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just making sure that I see where the listing is. Evening of Yes Music Plus 2025. I guess it's on Amazon. Oh, and Cherry Red Records. Okay. Yeah, and this includes 2 CD, 2 DVD, remastered box set. Let's see, additional information. Oh, yeah, it's from Esoteric. Reviews and features in national newspapers, Uncut, Mojo. Oh, okay, I guess that's where it's being advertised and stuff. Featuring the complete concert on 2 CD and region-free DVD with additional region-free DVD of In the Big Dream. And yeah, that's like the half-hour documentary. So I'd be curious to hear how this compares to the 2007 voice print reissue, because that's the one that Dad and I got way back, and really impressed with the concert. It was at a time when I was super unfamiliar with ABWH, and so I was like, oh, okay, so where does this fit in the Yes history? And it's so well shot and just so good. Next up, and this was news that I think we were expecting for a long time, given the sequence. We got the Yes album getting its deluxe edition release, and then Fragile getting the same treatment. The Close to the Edge Super Deluxe Edition. So I'm looking at the listing for it over on Rhino's website. And I'll go ahead and show the image of it while I read this. Let's see, share screen. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go ahead and read the description of this. This definitive version comprises 5 CDs, 1 LP, and a Blu-ray. A newly remastered version of the original Close to the Edge graces both CD1 and LP. The Blu-ray houses 2025 mixes by Steven Wilson in Dolby Atmos and 5.1 mix DTS HDMA for the very first time. Wilson's remix and instrumentals also adorn CD2. An unearthed bevy of rare and previously unreleased recordings for the Super Deluxe Edition is featured on Disc 3, and a 1972 live show on Discs 4 and 5. The Rarities disc features rough mixes, alternate versions, and edits of staple tracks from Close to the Edge, offering another perspective on this opus. 3 previously unreleased Steven Wilson tracks, Siberian Khatru, Chord of Life, and Total Macertain, grace this collection. Meanwhile, the Live at the Rainbow, London, England, December 16, 1972 recording spans 2 discs and captures the group in their prime while on tour supporting the album. The collection boasts liner notes penned by Sid Schwartz of Jazz and Coffee as he delves into the process and story behind the seminal Close to the Edge, reflecting the spirit at the heart of the ultimate Yes album. Guitarist Steve House shares that Close to the Edge is Yes's most miraculous album. It has our first 20-minute epic, the template for many large-scale tracks that followed, accompanied by 2 10-minute tracks similarly recorded with the highest musical and technical integrity. Recording Fragile was an experience that enabled us to make Close to the Edge Yes's career-defining album. Yeah, and I see that the signed litho bundle is sold out, but the $100 the like LP 5 CD Blu-ray disc bundle, like you could still get it from the Rhino store. I'm just looking at the track list here. So disc 1, original album remastered. So we got Close to the Edge 2025 remaster, And You and I 2025 remaster, and Siberian Khatru 2025 remaster. Then we have disc 2, Steven Wilson 2025 remix and instrumentals. So I guess these would be different from the Steven Wilson remixes from several years back or a decade ago, whenever that was. So yeah, those same 3 tracks plus Close to the Edge instrumental, And You and I instrumental, Siberian Khatru instrumental, and I should say the first 3 on that disc are Wilson remixes, and the others, they all say Wilson remix, except for Siberian Khatru, which says, the instrumental for that says 2025 remaster. The disc 3, the Rarities disc, includes, let's see, these first 6 tracks I'm going to mention, they all say 25 remaster. So America single version, Total Macertain single version, And You and I promo edit, Siberia, studio run through of Siberian Khatru. So Close to the Edge rough mix, And You and I alternate version. So I think most of those were on the 2003 Close to the Edge re-release, but I'm not sure about And You and I promo edit and was Close to the Edge rough mix. I can't recall if those have been on something, or maybe I just haven't heard those ones on an official thing. But then track 7 is America dry mix. Track 8 is Siberian Khatru Steven Wilson edit. Track 9, Chord of Life, Steven Wilson edit. Very curious about that. Total Macertain Steven Wilson edit. And I wonder what the America dry mix, what does a dry mix mean? And again, I hope that, they've learned and are taking care with these super deluxe editions. Like, I don't want to find out that America Dry Mix is just some other band playing a cover of America from West Side Story or something. I don't know. But the interesting thing about the Live at the Rainbow stuff is the Rainbow Theater is where the Yes songs concert film was recorded, and I think lots of people say the 15th is where it was when it was recorded, but I think I've also heard that it might have been across the 2 nights. So there is like kind of some question about whether Siberian Khatru, they released the first track of this live material, Siberian Khatru Live at the Rainbow, as audio only, officially, and so some people are wondering, oh, could this be uh, like what would have accompanied the filmed version of Siberian Khatru that didn't make it onto the Yes Songs film? Because there's a question of whether that footage even exists of Siberian Khatru at that Yes Songs concert. But if not, this could very well just be a different night, and it might not have been filmed. But yeah, on disc 4, you have Siberian Khatru, I've Seen All Good People, Heart of the Sunrise, And You and I, Close to the Edge. And then disc 5, you have excerpts from Six Wives, Roundabout, Yours is a Disgrace, and Starship Trooper. And then on the Blu-ray, you have the 3 Close to the Edge tracks. And then on the LP, you have the original album, so, the original 3 tracks. So, yeah, I'm very curious, like, how, what the reception will be for this overall. It releases March 7th, so got about a month before it releases. Okay, so yeah, that was like a huge news item that we'd been sitting on, like really need to talk about on this show, but just like I said, lots of stuff has been going on, and we're finally able to talk about it on here. So, interesting stuff. Over on the Yes social media, they've also been posting quotes in relation to advertising this set, and band members talk about Close to the Edge. So Steve Howe said, "Close to the Edge to me will never lose its intrigue and glamour." I agree. Bill Bruford said, "The angels were watching over us. Close to the Edge was a huge hit, but more importantly, it remains a classic of the genre. I'd like to have Close to the Edge as a memory of a very good time with that band." That's a very interesting quote, because Close to the Edge was the album where he decided to, like, that was it for him. And yes, I guess it feeds into that idea that it was so good that he didn't think he could, like, top that within Yes, doing Son of Close to the Edge or whatever. And then Rick Wakeman said, "It was wonderful because it was that period in time where musicians were ahead of technology. There were no keyboards with presets, 10,000 different choices of things. You created your own sounds." Nice. And this next bit of news, it was pointed out that Keys to Ascension 1 and 2 are back on streaming platforms. And the post I saw said that this was thanks to Cherry Red Records, although I don't see a physical release there, but I don't know if maybe, I don't know if someone like controls the rights or whatever, but in either case, Keys to Ascension 1 and 2 can be heard on official streaming platforms now for the first time in, I think, at least a couple years. Because I remember one day seeing, oh, That Is and Be the One aren't here on the, like, official YouTube thing. But yeah, the tracks are available on streaming again, which is great. Interviews. So the Interviews YouTube channel posted archival Chris Squire interviews from back in the day, conducted with interviews, of course. So one of them was from January 23rd, 1998, and the other was from July 20th, 2012. So what fascinated me in the 1998 one, I gave that a listen, and apparently the plan was for, we know that Keys to Ascension 2 and Open Your Eyes were on different labels. And then what happened was Keys to Ascension 2 ended up being released 3 weeks before Open Your Eyes. According to this interview from January 1998, Chris was saying, "We were actually hoping to hold off on Keys 2 being released until around now, because, they wanted Open Your Eyes to be the focus. And that is so fascinating to me because, you know, Open Your Eyes was the current Yes lineup at the time. And releasing Keys to Ascension 2 afterward, like for a while, I would think it feels kind of like an afterthought, or maybe it would cause some confusion over what the lineup is, maybe, especially because it has studio material on it. But then again, it also reminds me of the Fly From Here and From a Page situation. We got studio stuff recorded before this other studio stuff, and it got released along with live stuff later. Although in that case, it was years later, whereas this would have been like just 3 months later or something. But of course, that did not end up being the case, and there's just a 3 week difference with Keys 2 coming out before rather than after Open Your Eyes. So, yeah, interesting stuff there. Yeah. Let's see. Uh, what interested me about the 2012 interview was, Chris was talking about, Benoit no longer being in the band, and they have John Davison. And I don't know if this was before or after it was known that Benoit, was suffering from, stuff affecting his vocals. But, Chris talks about stuff, not really diving into those specifics, but, it tells, like, I guess, a different side. And, I guess both accounts could fit. It's just kind of interesting, like, hearing the different accounts and whatnot. So, yeah, give these interviews a listen and check them out. It's, interesting archival historical stuff. And speaking of that time period with Benoit, I saw that Oliver Wakeman recently shared a photo from the In the Present tour in Reading, Pennsylvania. So that was a little nice nostalgia trip right there. I can't believe that was like 17. Later this year will be 17 years since when Benoit and Oliver joined the band. Yeah, it's wild to think about. Over on the notes from the Edge Facebook page, Mike Tiano shared a Wayback Machine link saying that on Steve Howe's website, the archives section has the All's Accord section from back in the day, which is basically people submitting questions to Steve Howe and him answering them. There are a lot of guitar and I guess gear related questions, and Steve was really into talking about that. So it's interesting seeing like how stacked those questions and answers were. So again, like interesting historical stuff right there. Michael Franklin, who producer on John Anderson's 1000 Hands and has also worked with Patrick Moraz, says Patrick is still writing and performing selected projects. We will do something together this year. And while sharing a picture of Patrick. So yeah, very curious to see what more we may get from Patrick. I'm still waiting to see like when the Prague stock, was it Prague stock or Prague on the Ranch? Well, one of those two. Like, I think Patrick is supposed to be doing something with one of those sometime this year, but we'll see what comes out. Over on YouTube, there's also some Yes Pittsburgh 1976 footage that got posted. And I thought I had the link here, but let me see. I'm sure if you just post or search rather on YouTube, Yes Pittsburgh 1978. And these are like little snippets, so it's not like huge, substantial, like full stuff, but still, like a little peek to, yeah, give me a moment here. Okay, so I'll be posting the link in the comments here. I think that should, yeah. All right, for all of you to check out after this if you haven't already. So yeah, I like whenever this old footage gets unearthed and we're able to see stuff that wasn't widely available. Speaking of reminiscence and throwbacks and stuff, King Crimson announced their partnership with nugs.net, where the and over on that website their 2014 tour footage is now available for streaming and purchase, and they say more archives will be added soon. Stay tuned. And I also got to check out this recently posted video on the King Crimson YouTube channel of the performance of Starless over in Tokyo 2021. I think this would have been the final King Crimson show, if I'm not mistaken. And lastly, there was this post on the Emerson, Lake and Palmer Facebook page saying, "We are delighted to announce that later this year we will be publishing a People's History of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, comprised of first-hand accounts from those who were lucky enough to see the band in concert. If you were an ELP fan with a story to tell, the book's editor would love to hear from you. You can find out more here, spenwoodbooks.com/welcome back my friend," or actually, yeah, there are dashes between those things. So yeah, so go spenwoodbooks.com, and yeah, I might be able to find the link and put that in the chat as well. Because I think there was also a little message on the website that I thought was interesting as well. But it also says, "And we hope you'll share your memories and help us put together a book that celebrates the music and career of Keith, Greg, and Carl." So let me just make sure I have the correct website. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Spenwood, and that's SPEN woodbooks.com/welcome. And I don't know if it's like dash or hyphen, but I'll just say dash for simplicity. Welcome dash back dash my dash friends dash a dash peoples dash history dash of dash Emerson dash Lake dash Palmer. And it says here, to be published November 2025 by Spenwood Books of Manchester, UK. Welcome Back, My Friends will be a softback book containing over 400 fan memories of seeing ELP in concert or of encountering one or more members over the years. Did you see ELP in concert? Did you work with them professionally? Perhaps you met one or more of them somewhere along the road. Got a favorite ELP song that means something to you? We want to hear your memories. Every submission will be acknowledged, and as we approach publication, we'll let you know if your story is going to be included in the final book. If you are sending us a story, any length of submission is acceptable, but around 400 words in length is ideal. If you're sending us a gig memory, please include the date of the show if you can. If you're sending photos, please ensure these are at least 300 kilobytes, and please attach them as separate JPEGs. To share your ELP memory, please write to elpfanbook@gmail.com. So that's really interesting. Now they've announced a. Oh, I see Dad chiming in saying I have stories. But yeah, that's interesting that they announced a release date for this book before they even have the memories sent in. They set a number, and I guess, and I'm sure lots of people do have these memories and they'll have to narrow stuff down. But yeah, I just thought that process is really fascinating. Maybe unconventional even, but yeah, really exciting stuff. So yeah, that's it for this Yesshift News Desk Edition here on February 5th, 2025. And you can find us at Yesshift on Facebook and YouTube, anchor.fm/Yesshift, and write to us, yesshiftpodcast@gmail.com. And Also check out Drum Talk TV Brilliance. We got a Neil Peart play along challenge going on there, so check out the rules of that. And yeah, it's lots of fun. So okay, and we'll have other stuff going on for Yesshift and for Drum Talk TV. So stay tuned, and we'll see you all soon.